There's been so much controversy around Supergirl, and you know it's bad when critics, journalists, content creators, and so-called paid shows are all in agreement that this movie was a complete letdown. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Lawrence Report. Let's talk about my review of Supergirl. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, like, and please not forget to comment. Let's talk about Supergirl. Now, for me, Supergirl was just meh, meh. It was okay. Like, it was somewhat likable. I enjoyed Millie Alcock and Lobo. I should say Supergirl and Lobo. But after that, it was a complete letdown from the story. The plot was predictable. I'm like, James Gunn, I thought you said that we're not going to greenlight these movies until the script is great, right? And keep in mind, they also adopt this from the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic book, right? We supposed to get the bright colors and all that. We didn't even really get that right there. They kind of really danced around it when it comes to Woman of Tomorrow comic being really adapted into this film, really. And one thing I think that we're going to see that the general audience, they may like it, but with all this controversy surrounding Supergirl, what we're seeing is, critics and diehard comic book fans that know Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, they completely hated this movie. So maybe the average moviegoer, they may end up liking Supergirl. And I can say this right here, Supergirl, it was okay. In some instances, it was likable, but it was not better than Superman. I saw some people say it was better than Superman. No, it was not better than Superman, but I gotta give Millie Alcock her flowers. She did kill it as Kara Zor-El. Because what we see with Supergirl, her story is complex. It's a hero's odyssey, a hero's journey. In Supergirl, we end up get a chance to see, the heart of Kara, right? Her vulnerability, her imperfections, while discovering the power within. Supergirl was very emotional at points in times, and I really did enjoy the backstory of Krypton. I think that really set up a lot of the main focus for Supergirl. Kara's journey is really complex, and I do believe that Millie Alcock, she did the best with what she could do when it came to her performance as Supergirl, right? She didn't have a lot of work room to wiggle with, but she did the best she could do. And I thought that Supergirl, it was just okay. It could have been better, without a doubt. But it was just just not done. It was like undercooked, basically, right? Like, it was just missing some extra seasoning, some extra salt and pepper that need to be on Supergirl. But it I'm trying to find the right words, y'all. It just, my hopes were high for Supergirl, and I was kind of let down in the worst way. And that sucks a lot of times when you go in with your expectations being high for certain characters or certain movies, and you get into the movie theater and you see it, you're like, dang, this is it? Like, this is really it? And I do believe that, when it comes to Supergirl, she does carry the weight of the world on her shoulders. We get a chance to see her backstory, her upbringing, and how she's way different, completely different from her cousin Clark. Now, I did not expect Superman to be in this movie a whole lot the way he was. I'm like, dang, are they tag team in this movie together? But he was in this more than I thought he should have been, right? As far as her cousin, Kal-El, aka Superman. With Supergirl, one of the things that we see what it's like to be a hero, right? How you're supposed to be destined for greatness, but you have so much, trauma and stuff like that that's being around you, that sometimes it can take you under. But I thought Millie Alcock played a great Supergirl, one of the best adaptations I've seen thus far of all the women that play Supergirl. But outside of that, I'm talking about the totality of the movie. That aspect right there was a complete letdown. They had gorgeous set pieces also. I should say that. I did love some of the flying scenes. That was great. And shout out to Jason Momoa as Lobo was great. I feel like Jason Momoa was definitely born to play Lobo. He killed it. The one thing that I wish we would have had was more time with Lobo, right? That could have been better right there. But they kind of left us out in the wind with Lobo. I just wanted more with him. Like, I thought that we was gonna get more Lobo in this right here. And Lobo, basically he was a scene stealer. I will give him his props to that. He was a scene stealer when he did come on to the set. If there's one actor I believe that had the most fun playing their counterpart, it had to be Jason Momoa because I know he was just up and ready to go day one to play the one and only Lobo. Now we gotta talk about this villain Krim. Krim was a letdown. Krim was weak. Krim was undercooked. Basically, I'm like, this supposed to be our big bad? Like, man, like he was horrible. Like I didn't feel nothing with Krim. Like it was just absolutely horrible. A pretty weak mid villain, if I'm being honest, when it comes to Krim. Like I didn't really enjoy him at all. And for me, if I had to rate Supergirl, I'm giving Supergirl a 7 out of 10. As I said before, when it comes to Supergirl, it just stuff like the script was lacking, right? And just really, like I said before, also again, you could see this on a $5 Tuesday. I don't know what happened when it came to Supergirl, with the writing of this movie right here, but it was just let down. There's so many just different pieces that I felt like they left when it came to the proper representation of who Kara Zor-El or about the Woman of Tomorrow comic book storyline. They just left out a lot of important pieces. Like, how do you borrow a storyline but not really use the totality of that storyline? It underperformed. So much controversy around this right here. I don't even know at this point, like, what is the box office numbers between this movie and a Toy Story. I'm hoping that Supergirl's gonna come out number one, but man, the way people have been ripping up this movie on Twitter, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, they have been going in. I've not seen a movie rip apart like this in quite some time. Maybe we should have moved this movie to like Women's History Month. Maybe it would have been better. I know WB spent like 100 million, I think, in like sponsors and all that stuff right there with people like KFC, some beauty companies for Supergirl. I just hope it pans out because this was just not up to par. That was my thoughts about Supergirl. Check it out. It was likable. But again, it could be a $5 Tuesday movie if you catch my drift. That was my thoughts about Supergirl. And as always, stick tuned into the Lawrence Report.